The crimson sky loomed over Earth like a silent omen. In the heart of New Europa City, the once vibrant metropolis now lay in ruins. Buildings smoldered, cars overturned, and the air crackled with residual energy. At the center stood Commander Rei of SOGOCU, her cybernetic armor gleaming faintly in the dying sunlight. Her enemy, Kael-Zar, a warlord from the Necron Void, whose six-bladed gauntlets shimmered with alien plasma. This was not just a fight for territory, it was survival. The people of Earth had seen nothing like this before. Kael-Zar's army had torn through cities like a storm. But Rei, the last shield of SOGOCU's front line, was determined to hold him off. As Kael-Zar charged with a guttural roar, Rei activated her battle core, releasing a wave of cerulean light that split the debris around her. Sparks flew as their weapons clashed, and the ground shook with every blow. This battle would determine the fate of millions, and Rei knew she couldn't lose. Kael-Zar's blades moved like a deadly dance, each strike precise and brutal. Rei parried with her energy shield, but the sheer force of his blows sent her sliding back across the cracked pavement. Her internal HUD flashed red warnings. Shield integrity 62%, 45%, 29%. She gritted her teeth and activated the phase dash, an experimental movement technique developed by SOGOCU's tech division. In a flash of blue light, Rei vanished and reappeared behind Kael-Zar, unleashing a series of high-speed strikes with her plasma lance. Sparks erupted as metal clashed with alien alloy. The warlord growled, wounded but not defeated. Suddenly, Kael-Zar roared, channeling a vortex of void energy. The sky darkened further, and gravity rippled as the air bent unnaturally. Rei's boots magnetized to the ground, locking her in place as the waves surged toward her. With only seconds to react, she slammed her palm onto her chest, triggering overdrive mode. "For Earth," she shouted, as her armor surged with azure energy. Time seemed to slow as Rei launched herself into the void storm. Her overdrive mode heightened her reflexes, allowing her to weave through the fragments of debris and warping energy with superhuman precision. Every breath felt like fire in her lungs. But her mind was clear. Kael-Zar must fall. She plunged her plasma lance into the center of the vortex, hoping to destabilize the energy source. The storm howled in protest, hurling her backward. Sparks erupted from her armor, but she pushed forward, spinning midair to launch a final charge strike at Kael-Zar's exposed flank. The impact was massive. A shockwave tore through the battlefield, toppling buildings and silencing everything for a few seconds. Kael-Zar staggered, black ichor dripping from his wound. His eyes burned with fury, but also shock. He hadn't expected a mere human to resist the void. Rei dropped to one knee, breathing hard, systems flickering. "I'm not done yet," she whispered, standing once more. In the distance, the remaining SOGOCU units approached, their silhouettes emerging through the smoke and ash. The ground trembled as the rest of the SOGOCU strike team descended from their orbital dropships. Commander Rei landed first, his mech suit trailing white-hot ion exhaust, followed by dual plasma cannons locking onto Kael-Zar's position. "Rei, status," he barked through the comms. Rei steadied herself. "Still alive. He's wounded, but not down." Kael-Zar let out a guttural roar, slamming his fists into the earth. Black tendrils erupted from his back, striking at random. One tendril speared toward Rei, but Rei intercepted it with a pulse shield, the impact sending a seismic wave through the street. "We're finishing this, together." The strike team engaged, their weapons lighting up the battlefield like a second sun. Railgun rounds, particle beams, and sonic disruptors rained down on the void creature, forcing him to retreat behind a swirling wall of dark matter. But Rei saw it, the hesitation in Kael-Zar's movement, the first sign of doubt. For the first time, the Predator was unsure. She activated her last energy cell, aura flaring. "Let's break him." The strike teams synchronized their attacks, coordinating with precision honed through countless drills. Rei unleashed a barrage of plasma cannon fire, forcing Kael-Zar to shield himself behind his dark matter barrier. Rei surged forward, her overdrive energy blazing like a comet. She dodged tendrils snapping like whips and closed the distance with a lightning-fast punch aimed at Kael-Zar's core. The impact sent shockwaves rippling through the battlefield, cracking the dark matter shield. Kael-Zar staggered but retaliated with a devastating roar, slamming his massive fists down in a ground-shaking shockwave that sent dust and debris flying. "Hold the line," Eris commanded, rallying the team as they braced for the counterattack. Rei's eyes burned with determination as she gathered every ounce of strength. This was more than just a battle. It was a fight for their world's survival. With a fierce cry, she charged again, energy flaring brighter than ever before. The war for Earth had truly begun. Kael-Zar roared in fury, his dark matter armor cracking under the relentless assault. Sensing the tide turning, he unleashed a powerful energy blast that sent shockwaves tearing through the battlefield. The shockwave threw Rei and her teammates off balance, forcing them to scramble for cover. But Rei wasn't done yet. Igniting her inner core, she tapped into the ancient power of the Scion lineage that coursed through her veins. Her aura flared a brilliant gold, crackling with electrifying energy as she rose above the chaos, ready for the next strike. "Together, we end this now," Eris shouted, rallying the squad to regroup and press forward. In perfect synchronization, the SOGOCU team launched their final assault. Energy beams cut through the dark skies, and the earth trembled under the impact of their combined might. The battle was far from over, but hope burned brighter than ever in their hearts. Kael-Zar's dark matter armor began to crack and crumble under the relentless assault. The air around him vibrated with raw energy as he struggled to maintain control. His sinister eyes locked onto Rei, who now radiated with the unmistakable power of a scion awakened. With a growl, Kael-Zar charged once more, launching a devastating energy wave aimed directly at her. Rei's instincts took over. She dashed forward, weaving through debris and blasts, her golden aura flaring wildly. Gathering her energy, she released a powerful blast that collided with Kael-Zar's wave in a dazzling explosion of light and force. The shockwave sent ripples across the ruined cityscape, shaking the very ground beneath them. The SOGOCU team pressed their advantage, pushing Kael-Zar back step by step. Every member fought with fierce determination, knowing the fate of Earth depended on their victory. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the battlefield, Rei and Kael-Zar prepared for their final confrontation, a duel that would decide the future of their world. The final duel began with a deafening roar as Rei and Kael-Zar clashed in a whirlwind of energy and fury. Each strike sent shockwaves ripping through the ruined city, shaking the very foundations beneath their feet. Rei moved with a fierce grace, her scion instincts guiding every punch and kick, while Kael-Zar countered with dark energy blasts that threatened to tear the sky apart. As their battle escalated, the surrounding environment deteriorated rapidly. Buildings crumbled, fires erupted, and the earth cracked open. Yet, neither warrior showed signs of yielding. Rei's golden aura flared brighter with every hit she landed, while Kael-Zar's armor shattered piece by piece, exposing the raw darkness within him. In a final desperate move, Kael-Zar gathered all his remaining energy into a massive, swirling orb of shadow. He hurled it toward Rei with a scream, intent on ending the fight once and for all. But Rei, fueled by the hopes of her team and the planet's survival, summoned her ultimate power and met the attack head-on. The collision illuminated the battlefield like a second sun, a brilliant explosion that would echo in legend for generations. The battlefield slowly calmed as nightfall descended, stars twinkling above the scars of the fierce confrontation. Rei, though battered and exhausted, stood unwavering. She knew the fight was just the beginning of a much larger war. The Earth she had sworn to protect was still vulnerable, and new threats loomed on the horizon. With a determined gaze, Rei raised her hand, signaling to the arriving reinforcements. Together, they would rebuild and prepare for the battles to come. She took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the night air and the weight of her responsibility. In that quiet moment, she vowed to never falter, to fight relentlessly for the future of all life on Earth. The saga of SOGOCU was far from over, but with heroes like Rei standing guard, hope remained alive. The next chapter awaited, filled with challenges, alliances, and battles that would test the limits of strength and courage. The battlefield slowly calmed as nightfall descended, stars twinkling above the scars of the fierce confrontation. Rei, though battered and exhausted, stood unwavering. She knew the fight was just the beginning of a much larger war. The Earth she had sworn to protect was still vulnerable, and new threats loomed on the horizon. With a determined gaze, Rei raised her hand, signaling to the arriving reinforcements. Together, they would rebuild and prepare for the battles to come. She took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the night air and the weight of her responsibility. In that quiet moment, she vowed to never falter, to fight relentlessly for the future of all life on Earth. The saga of SOGOCU was far from over, but with heroes like Rei standing guard, hope remained alive. The next chapter awaited, filled with challenges, alliances, and battles that would test the limits of strength and courage.